Good morning, everybody. We are out here in Jacksonville Beach on an absolutely picture-perfect day. And I want to say it's a jungle out there, but we're going to walk around preliminarily looking at the current landscape here. You're going to see a lot of tropical, beautiful plantings, one extremely extraordinary large lady palm, and we're going to be adding some additional tropical vibe to this yard. As you'll see, they have a beautiful pool, they have a hot tub out here, beautiful paver work, and we're just going to be enhancing that and then coincidentally adding a little bit of screening where needed. So we're going to take a walk around, take a look at some really cool plants, and thank you for joining us. This may be in the Guinness Book of World Records the largest lady palm in existence. It's absolutely huge. It blocks and screens behind me, and this plant started off as a small individual plant a few years ago, and it appears to be quite content where it's planted. So this plant has got to be a good 20 feet across, and it's every bit of 10 feet tall. It's much larger than a traditional lady palm gets. And as I'll walk around here, I may have to go get a snack to make it to the other side. But this is absolutely huge. It's a beautiful planting. And you may not need something that large in your yard, and obviously in almost 99.9% of the time you'll never see one this large, but this is doing absolutely beautiful here, and the homeowner, it's one of her favorite plants. We're going to be doing a little bit of screen work over here. Their HOA requires that they don't have sheds in view from the street. And although they have a 6-foot privacy fence, there are a couple of people in the neighborhood who like to check things out and look over. So we're going to put in a holly that's not a traditional holly. You'll see it in the upcoming shots. And that will get planted here so that you can't see the shed behind me. And we're going to add a couple ancillary plants to go with it. And at the request of the homeowners, we want to keep this fairly tight so that they still have access for tree work or whatnot in the backyard. So we'll be looking at this a little bit later in the day when the guys are all done. So a lot of times, getting jobs done, half the battle is the logistics of getting to the job. In this case, we have great access, and I realize I have really large shoulders, so I'll barely be able to fit through here. But this homeowner thought through and put in a double gate, which will serve our equipment extremely well to get through this wide opening. And we use a mini skid. We have absolutely great access for our machine here because it's only 42 inches wide. And as you can see, we've got a nice straight open area that we can get through to the backyard. So it's appreciated anytime we have great access. And it's something that if you do a fence at some point that you consider making sure that you at a minimum put a 48-inch gate. But ideally, if you can do a double gate somewhere, it's always going to be used at some point in your home ownership. Now, as I was going to start my political career here on the stump, I thought I'd explain to you that we're going to be doing enhancement in this area. There's not very much here. There's a couple of ponytail palms off to my left that we're going to transplant, but we're going to be adding some more tropical feel to this area and also trying to mitigate a little bit of the beautiful view behind me right through here. So as we check on this later in the day after the guys get going, you'll see the transformation of this area. Hey everybody, we are back at the Nordman residence here in Jacks Beach, and I believe I started in the bananas and we're going to be finishing up in the bananas, so go bananas over it. But everything turned out really nice out here. They're very pleased with the work that we've done. And I just want to take you through a quick stroll to check out what we accomplished in the backyard. Again, this was a Not a real large budget, but a good enough budget that we were able to accomplish a lot of really beautiful things. So we added white birds of paradise. The goal in this project is to create some screening. We've added as the center point for that purpose, we've got a paurotis palm, and that's also called the Everglades palm. We've added some Chinese fan palms either side of the paurotis, and then we've got some Arboricola Trinettes woven in for contrast. And in the foreground we have some Matchstick bromeliads. And then we have the Guinness Book of World Records lady palm. So this was the main aspect of this job, and we're going to walk over and take a look at another little screening area that we worked on as well. But you can kind of see there's differences in texture, there's differences in the colors of the greens, and eventually as the birds get taller they will be a linchpin for screening, and as eventually through the years the Chinese fan palms will get large enough too to help contribute in the screening. And in the foreground we'll have a lot of interest going on with the matchsticks and the arboricolas. So we'll walk over and take a look at the other screening that we were trying to work on. The goal over here was to help conceal the shed in the back behind us. And this is an Eagleston holly standard. Standard's just a fancy word for having a trunk and not having the full foliage to the ground. So in this case, what's nice about it is you get to start out with a larger tree than if it was just in a traditional Christmas tree shape. And it catches the area that you're really trying to. It allows you to plant some little things underneath. In this case, we did some soft caress mahogany, and those will fill in. Those will bloom in the winter time with the yellow flower, which gives a lot of interest at an unexpected time. The holly will have berries on in the winter, red berries, and that will also be added color. And it's a good bird plant. It's a good plant for nesting for birds as well. So that's what we did out here. I think we accomplished what we were trying to do, and as I mentioned, they're very pleased with the outcomes. And the flamingos would be dancing out here. They took an early Friday off, so they're not with me, but this yard is definitely now flamingo worthy.